Thank you very much. For those who are joining the live, we want to do an impromptu live and talk about a few things here and there about USA DV lottery, or what we call the USA green card. So if you are watching this later on the replay, sorry, just know that we did an impromptu kind of a live session whereby we want to tackle a few things, because I've realized that people are having trouble with the DV lottery. People are having trouble with the green card. They don't know a few things about the green card. They don't know how to apply. They don't know what not to write. They don't know what needs to be written in case of a divorce, in case of a separation, in case of someone who has two wives. How do you go about this process? And this is the reason as to why I've decided to record this video and try to demystify the things which I've seen giving people some trouble. And that is the reason why I want to do this quick live, so that we talk about majorly the problems people are facing with the DV lottery application. This year's DV lottery application has no difference in terms of the rules regarding the engagement, rules of engagement concerning the DV lottery. So what was being done last year is what is being done this year. There's no major difference. There's no change, because one thing you realize that in terms of a passport, before it was a requirement that you had to have a passport before you apply for the DV lottery. Today, you don't need anything. You don't need a passport to be able to apply for the DV lottery. You just need to qualify in terms of maybe age, in terms of education, in terms of legal status in the country you are living in. Those are basically the qualifications you need to be able to apply for the DV lottery. So in terms of when the applications are being done, the applications for the DV lottery 2026 are ongoing, and they've started on September 2nd all the way to November 7th. 2024. That is the day we'll end the applications. Might differ because of timelines in different timelines of the world in terms of the date of the start and the day of the end. And what I usually advise people, I've seen people saying that they want to either be among the last people or among the first people. And this is what I can tell you. It doesn't make a big difference in terms of whether you are selected or whether you are not selected. What matters is whether you manage to submit the application successfully and without mistakes, and using good passport photos, because those are the things which determine whether you are going to be selected or not. So whatever you do, make sure that you make a good application without mistakes, timely, because then again you realize that during the last days, the last like 3 or 4 days of the application, it gets so hard for someone to be able to submit the application, because sometimes the website usually gets so jammed up so that you are not able to even get into the website and do your application. So that is the timeline for the applications. The results for the DV lottery, they usually get them the next year. So in this case, the results for DV lottery 2026 will be in 2020, in May 2025. That is when you'll be able to check the results. What are the qualifications for the DV lottery? And this is something which has been giving people so much trouble, because they don't know what are the qualifications for you to be able to apply for the DV lottery. And this is what I'll tell you. In terms of age, you need to be at least 17 years of age. 17 years of age, all the way to whichever age God can give you. And within that age, you can be able to apply for the DV lottery. In terms of education, you need to be able to show that you have 12 years of continuous education, 12 years of formal education. And that might mean, maybe in the Kenyan context, I said you need to be able to show that you have gone to secondary school. You have gone to secondary school. That is the basic. That is what you need to show, that for you to show that you've gone through 12 years of education. So the secondary school is enough for you to demonstrate that you've done 12 years of secondary school education. In terms of a certificate, the grade you got at secondary school, for the Kenyan case, for those people who are applying from Kenya, anything not E, grade E, you'll have trouble at the embassy. So I said any grade and not E. So that might mean D minus and above, all the way to A. You can apply for the DV lottery. There's another pathway for those people who have not gone to secondary school and they want to apply for the DV lottery. There's a list of qualifying occupations which you need to show. And I wanted to bring on board something so that I want to present something so that you see how that plays out. So just a minute. Let me see whether we can get this on the screen so that you see, once you get to this website, you just need to come here and click begin entry. I want to show you how to do this application on a live. So that I hope it is going to be a little bit faster. So once you come to this website, you can apply without any trouble. Let me hope it will be a little bit faster. Yeah. So what we need to come here and fill this. I want to show how to fill. I'm hoping that the website will be a little bit faster. Sometimes it gets so jammed, so you are not able to demonstrate properly. But once you come to this website, you fill all your information. You fill your name, your last name, your first name, and middle name. So basically, just go to your passport. And the page where you see your names and your image, you'll be able to see the order in which the names are arranged. So write that in that order. So the last family name is the name of your father. First name is mostly the English name for most people. The middle name is your given name, and for most people is the traditional name. When you come here to click either male or female, fill your date of birth. And in this section, make sure that you fill them correctly. I've seen people filling this wrongly because it is arranged in a different way from how we arrange our dates and days. So just when you come there, fill your day. Maybe it's 15th of January, 1995 or whatever. Birth city. This is another section I've seen people getting a lot of trouble. Birth city basically is what is written. Let me demonstrate here. Let's assume this is your passport or your birth certificate. On the left, I don't know whether it's on the left or on the right. On this corner, you'll find the place of birth. It might not necessarily mean a city. It might not necessarily be a city. It can be a village. It can be a district. It can be a county. It can be a town. It can be either Nakuru. It can be Mombasa. It can be Kisumu. It can be Gucha. It can be Trans Nzoia. Whatever that is, just write that because that is what, in terms of the DV lottery, they consider to be the birth city. Just go a little bit down. You'll see the country of birth. Country of birth, this is what qualifies you for the green card. So if you are born, for example, in a country like Uganda, Ghana, Nigeria, they do not apply for the DV lottery. Kenya, Tanzania, and you got another secondary passport for another country. Maybe you got a British passport. That is not what is going to qualify you. In terms of the DV lottery, the country which qualifies you is the country you are born in. So if you feel this wrongly, it will be hard for you to be able to convince the visa officer if you win, because this is a grave mistake in terms of the DV lottery. Country of eligibility, for most people, it is the same country to the country they were born. That is the word, unless there is an explanation for that. Entrant photograph. This is another pain point, because I've seen people struggling with the passport photo, and there are rules which you can get from reading this page. You see this page, link to photo instructions and the photo examples page. Once you go to this page, you'll be able to see how to do the passport photo. But in a nutshell, let me explain to you. The passport photo, one, the background should be white as a rule of thumb, or off-white. But I usually advise people do white, because white is what you cannot make a mistake with. Then ensure the clothes you wear are of a different color, because assume I'm wearing white and the background is white. You'll not be able to make a difference between myself and the background. So make sure that you wear a cloth or a dress which is of a different color. Then again, make sure that you have a neutral face, not very smiley, not very sad. Make it whatever you look like on a normal day. But make sure that your eyes are open naturally, not wide open, but make sure that they are open. Make sure that you maintain a neutral position. Make sure that the image can see both your shoulders. Make sure that we can see the face properly. Make sure that we can see the ears, because you realize that some people have very small ears. So devise a way to be able to show the ears properly, because the selection is done by a computer, and the computer wants to see whether that is a human being, because a human being has both ears, unless obviously you do not have both ears for different reasons. In terms of KB, make sure that the image is not more than 240 kilobytes, and then again, don't make it so compressed. And the problem is that most people share these images using what we call WhatsApp. WhatsApp unfortunately makes the images lose quality. So you find that you are applying, but the image has lost quality. So make sure that both your ears can be seen. Make sure that it's 240 KB. Make sure that it's 600 by 600 dimension. Because I know this is information some of you might not be able to grasp. Just go to a photo studio. I usually advise people go to a photo studio and tell them that you want a green card passport photo, and they'll give you a good green card passport photo. And these are photo studio, not your usual cyber, because most cybers they employ people who don't know how to do passport photos. So let's continue. The passport photo, I've shown you what is required. In terms of address, you can write whichever address. There's nobody who's going to send any letter, any actual letter to you. You can fill whichever address you have, whichever city. This doesn't matter. There's no problem. Just fill that, write whichever your country where you live today. This is the country where you are at the day of recording this video, at the day of filling this DV lottery. If you are working in Saudi Arabia, fill Saudi Arabia. If you are living in United Arab Emirates, fill United Arab Emirates. And make sure that you have legal documents of staying in that country. You are staying in that country legally. Or else just fill that, just fill your home country. Email address, write your email address, the correct one. Because this is another very important point. Make sure that you fill a correct email address, because future correspondence is usually shared to your email address. So make sure that this email address is yours and it's a correct email address for the name for the DV lottery. What is the highest level of education you have achieved as of today? As of today. So what that basically means is that is any certificate you've attained at the day of filling this DV lottery application form. And that means Even if you've gone to secondary school education and you've not gotten the real certificate, but you did the exam, but you did not go and collect the paper, you need to feel that you can feel that you have high school degree. This is for high school. For secondary school, whatever you call it in your home country. If you do not, you have gone to primary level, click and click primary school only. But in this case, you need to be relying on work experience. And then again, there's a list of qualifying occupations which qualify for the DV lottery. So make sure that before you go through the primary school only way or the high school and no degree, you are able to demonstrate that you have 2 years of experience in an occupation requiring 2 years of training in the past 5 years. I hope you understand that. And there's a list of qualifying occupations, which again, you can go and Google and see which ones are the qualifying occupations for the DV lottery if you've not attained high school degree, because high school degree is the minimum, or else you can rely on a work experience, which again, I've just explained to you. If, for example, you have some university courses, those are maybe like diplomas, higher diplomas, other university courses, whichever level, you can come here and click some university courses. If you have an undergraduate degree, you come here and select university degree. If you have a master's, PhD, these two, this and this is what you feel. If you have doctorate, you can come again and fill doctorate. If you have some university courses which are not, maybe you've done your first degree and you've gone and done other courses, other supportive courses, you can come and select some university, some graduate level courses. Current marital status. This is another place I've seen people struggling because they don't know what to feel in terms of current. What is your current marital status? And the problem with this is that many people have gotten married and separated with their spouses without going the legal way. That means if you had already attained a marriage certificate, obtained a marriage certificate during your marriage, and you just separated without going the court way. Basically, what that means is that you are technically still married to that person, and you need to feel that you are married to such and such a person, and be able to provide all their details together with their passport photo. When it comes to the time of travel, now you can choose whether to feel you will be traveling with them or not. Now that is for you to choose. So if you are married legally with a marriage certificate, you can fill the second option, which is married and the spouse is not a US citizen or US permanent resident. If you are single, just come and fill unmarried, which is the first option. Then again, there's another option, married and my spouse is a US lawful permanent residence or citizen. Those are the few people whose spouses are residents or US citizen. They can go ahead and fill for the DV lottery. The other option is divorced. And for the divorced part, you need to be able to show that you had married this person legally, maybe through the church, maybe through the mosque, maybe through the civil way, maybe the attorney general, or through the court system. And you got divorced also through the court system. The only way you can get divorced is through the court system. I don't know how the Muslims get their divorce. You can tell us in the comment section how it happens legally. For those people who are widowed, maybe you lost your spouse, you can come and feel widowed. If you are legally separated, and this is what I've just told you, if you need to have a legal order separating both of you. So for that case, you need to be careful while filling this information, because then again, you can get yourself into trouble even when you win the DV lottery. For those people who are married and they do not have a marriage certificate, the best way is to fill separately as two single people, but in each application, make sure that you've captured the children in each and every application, so that in case one of you wins, now you can process. But what I usually advise people If you apply that way, make sure that between the day of application and the day of the results being declared, you can go ahead and get a marriage certificate to be able, so that you don't get into so much trouble trying to explain to the visa officer about your predicament. Number of children, the number of children you have, you need to fill there. If you have 5 children, come and fill here. Those are children below the age of 21 who are either biologically yours or legally adopted by you with your spouse, or sole adoption. And I've seen people trying to put their brother's children who are not legally adopted, and that can bring a lot of trouble. So what I usually advise people, only fill the children who are legally yours. Otherwise, this can bring trouble while you get selected for the DV lottery. Once you fill all that information, just click continue. I know it won't be able to take me through because I've not filled anything along this while demonstrating to you. But basically, you can be able to do this application for yourself. Just go to photo studios, get a good passport photo, and that is what I can help you with. If you are getting into trouble filling this DV lottery, we are helping people to do that application. You can talk to me so that we see how we can go about apply for the DV lottery for you. Basically, I've taken you through the process or the step-by-step process of applying for the DV lottery. I know there are so many challenges, problems about DV lottery that I'm trying to I've seen during the application, and I'm trying to capture them so that people don't get into troubles. For those people who are single parent, I've seen that challenge, because you find that there are people who are single parents and they want to apply for the DV lottery, and they are worried, if I win and my spouse, we are not living together, how do I go about this? Because it can be quite troublesome. And this is what I will tell you. The only problem arises when you try to cross borders, international borders. Maybe you're going to the US, you're going to Canada together with your children, and your spouse is not there, or you do not have their consent. That is the only problem you'll encounter if you are a single parent. So what you can do, there are 2 ways to go about this one. One, you can get what we call legal custody of your children. That means that you are the legal sole custodian of your children. What that basically means is you go to the court system, you go to the legal system, maybe you approach a family lawyer to help you through the process of getting what we call the legal custody of your children. That means the other spouse, the other partner, has not been involved in the caring of these children, and you want the court to give you sole custody. And I hope that I've given this topic enough coverage for those people who are having trouble with it, so that they apply the best way. So if you rely on that, go to the court, go to seek a family lawyer to advise you on how to get sole custody. The other way of going through this hurdle, or overcoming this hurdle, is by getting consent from your spouse, from your former wife, from the separated spouse. They need to give you a consent declaring that they have given you permission to travel with these children, and that is after you're selected. Don't go right now looking for consent from your spouse, because you have not been selected as yet. So I hope that you've gotten that properly. I know there are different types of marriages. There are Christian marriages, Islamic marriages, civil marriages, customary marriages. Ensure that you adhere to what those legal requirements in terms of marriage. Thank you. Mojiba Rehman, my application complete. Thank you. Mojiba Rehman, I see your comment. And anybody else who is there, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to ask your questions in the comment section, so that I later on come and answer each and every question about the DV lottery. I know very many people have been asking me, what is the cost of this DV lottery? The submission itself is free. The submission in the website, the one I've just showed you. Let me bring it back. And if you have any question, you can request to come on live so that we try to share this information. Let me bring this. I hope it is in the screen. If you are submitting, the submission in this website is free. The only time you can pay is when you are paying someone to do the application for you. And that is just to compensate them for their time and their expertise, because I know there are people who have trouble with this website. Sometimes it might be hard for some people to navigate this website. So that is the only time you can pay someone some money to do the application for you, or else you can do the application yourself, or you go to someone who has the expertise, or you talk to me. My number is always on my profile. You come, we do the application for you. What was I saying? The other cost you might incur in terms of the DV lottery is once you are selected, that is when the cost, the real cost starts, because the visa interview, nobody's going to pay this interview fee for you. You are the one who is going to pay all these costs for the interview, for the medicals, for the flight, and looking for a host. That is something you need to consider, because nobody is going to do all this work for you. It's yourself to do this for yourself. So you need to budget. I shall tell people, for those people who are watching this video from Kenya, budget from around 300,000 Kenya shillings per person, per individual. So if you are 2 people in a family or 3, do that calculation and multiply by 300,000. For those people watching this video from other countries, just get $2,500 US per person. Multiply that by the number of people who are applying for you as derivatives, and you'll get a feeling. You'll get a rough figure of how much money you'll need. But don't let this bar you from applying. Just apply. Once you're selected, you can always look for money. You can always fundraise and get money to be able to process for the DV lottery, because then again, if you put a wall beyond yourself, ahead of yourself, and say that I'm not going to apply, you'll just block yourself. The best thing, do the application. When that time comes, look for money, do a fundraiser, come online, ask for people to help you to process for the DV lottery. How much time do you have after you've been selected for the DV lottery? And this is what I'll tell you. If you get selected, once you get selected for the DV lottery, that is May 2025, sorry. What matters is the case number. The case number is what determines the length of time you have. Let me give you an example. Someone who has a case number of 3,000, for example, has very short time for them to process for the DV lottery. Actually, they might go for the visa interview before August 2025. And that means after they've gone for the interview and gotten the visa, from that point of getting the visa, you have 6 months for you to be able to travel to the US and get into the port of entry and get your passport stamped. From that point, you can even go back to your home country to finish up the things which you had not properly done, the things you had not finished. And so you can get a feel in terms of the case number. The case number is the one which is going to determine, and that case number, you usually get that case number after you are selected. You cannot get the case number now. So someone who has a case number of let's say 70,000, 65,000, that is someone who might get the interview even 2026 January. So from the date of getting the interview, that is when they need to now start planning for their travel to the US. So what basically determines is the case number. I think I've given us justice to the questions I wanted to tackle. Let me see the question in the comment section. Your entry for the 2026 Development Visa program was received on Tuesday, October 8, 2024. please do not close this window. Okay, Majibur says that he got the message. Basically, that is the message you usually get after you've done, you've submitted your application for the DV lottery. Keep that confirmation number safely so that you'll be able to check the results once they are declared. And if you do not have that case number by that time, there's always a way of retrieving it back to be able to check. So don't worry if you lost it. And I've realized that very many people do not check the results once they are. I've seen people being selected and they don't know that they are selected, and they lose the chance because they did not check the results once they are declared in May the next year. So thank you very much for watching this video. I'll be doing more videos about the DV lottery and the other things. You can check other videos in this channel. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it to at least one person. Thank you.